down.
For every child
Bravo Company, go!
who had a hero to believe in, comes a movie that critics are calling Tim Burton's masterpiece. It's breathtaking, unforgettable, a perfect film. And now it has been nominated for 4 Golden Globes, including Best Picture of the Year. Big Fish, rated PG-13. Starts Thursday in select theaters.
KATU Television, an equal opportunity employer, is committed to ensuring a diverse workforce by providing broad notification to all qualified applicants concerning job openings at the station. Organizations that regularly distribute information about employment opportunities to job seekers or provide referrals to employers can receive notice of job vacancies at KATU by contacting Rolanda Stoudemire at P.O. Box 2, Portland, Oregon, 97207.
Do you have the right truck?
Black coffee to go.
Does your truck have better resale value than Ford and Dodge? A Silverado half-ton pickup does.
Hey guys, what's up?
Hey, is this your truck? What's it going for?
What do you mean, what's it going for?
Let me make you an offer.
It's not for sale.
Leave it here. It's for sale.
It's not for sale.
Silverado. It's the right truck from Chevy. Silverado is the only full-size pickup available with OnStar.
Funny man George Lopez.
On TV Guide's Greatest Moments.
Raise the national threat level from a yellow code to an orange code.
America is on alert once again.
We're not letting our guard down.
Al-Qaeda continues to consider using aircraft as a weapon.
But Americans appear to be taking the warning in stride.
It hasn't stopped me from shopping. I'm still shopping.
Some things we have no control over. I'm not going to let us, change my lifestyle.
And if it's my time, it's my time. That's just the way I am.
I have confidence that the airlines are protecting us pretty well, so I wasn't really that worried.
An attitude encouraged by the government.
If you've got holiday plans, go.
Assume the worst and you'll probably get the best.
We cannot quit being America just because of these threats.
Tonight, Code Orange, facing an uncertain danger.
From ABC News. This is Nightline. Reporting from Washington, Chris Fury.
They are damned if they do, damned if they don't. Senior officials in the Bush administration know they run the risk of inspiring threat fatigue by raising the alert level yet again. They also know that a failure to act based on sketchy information or not would be seen as a dereliction of duty if some terrorist attack were to take place. So for the 5th time since its inception, the alert system has been bumped from code yellow to orange, from an elevated risk to the 2nd highest one. Today, the Director of Homeland Security, Tom Ridge, warned the administration takes this threat more seriously than any since September 11th.
It is the conclusion of the intelligence community, the general consensus within that community, that all the strategic indicators suggest from the volume, really the level and the amount of reporting has increased. We've never quite seen it at this level before, and the sources we could point to that are credible and our ability to corroborate some of this information, the strategic indicators suggest that it is the most significant threat reporting since 9/11.
The new threat, of course, comes during a season already beset by a fair amount of anxiety. But even as he issued his warning, Secretary Ridge urged Americans to go ahead with their holiday plans. The decision to elevate the threat level comes after American intelligence picked up a number of signals that al-Qaeda may be plotting attacks against the United States during the holidays, including specific references to hijacking airplanes overseas and flying them here. Joining us now with the latest is ABC News Justice Department correspondent Pierre Thomas. And Pierre, what tipped the scales in terms of ratcheting up the threat level?
Well, Chris, it really was an accumulation of intelligence over the past few weeks. But over the weekend, we're told an informant came forward saying that al-Qaeda was planning to use planes from overseas to target the United States. So that was the feather that perhaps tipped the balance.
This specific threat about al-Qaeda possibly seeking to use aircraft from Europe or other foreign countries, is this something new?
No, it's not new. What intelligence sources have been telling us is that al-Qaeda likes to go to the tried and true. They know that planes can do considerable damage. They want to use planes again because of the thousands and perhaps more lives that could be lost.
Secretary Ridge said again today that this is the most significant terrorist threat since 9/11. What makes it so much more significant than all the others?
Now, to be honest, they've said that kind of thing before, but they are deeply concerned that the level and the volume of intelligence is coming from so many different places, basically saying the same thing, that al-Qaeda wants to do another massive attack, that they felt they had to do this. But if you look back at the previous announcements, you heard almost the same kind of language.
Yet, as you mentioned, this time there is a particular informant. Is there some kind of specific and credible threat from this particular person?
Well, again, they've had information from that informant, but I was told today that the informant basically amplified information from other places of a similar ilk, that al-Qaeda, again, wanted to do more attacks in the United States. So, again, it's an accumulation of information, but they don't necessarily believe that this information is dramatically different from the kinds of information they've had before.
Does Homeland Security worry at all about sending out a mixed message? On the one hand, they're saying this is the most significant thing to worry about since 9/11. On the other hand, Secretary Ridge is saying go about your holiday traveling as usual.
They absolutely do worry about it. We're told that there was considerable debate about whether to raise the alert given the absence of specifics. Again, Secretary Ridge was not able to come out and say it's going to be in this city, it's going to be this particular mode of attack. So there were people that said, look, every time we do this, cities have to spend a lot of money, and we don't necessarily know what's going to happen. So if you have a few days pass and nothing happens, then people are going to ask the question, why did we go through all this?
So what about all of us confused Americans who might be traveling this week? What is the practical advice from the government?
Well, the practical advice is look, be a national neighborhood watch, look for anything suspicious and report it to authorities.
Pierre Thomas, thank you very much. And when we come back, the vulnerabilities and threats in Europe.
Hurry into Circuit City today for big savings on all your last-minute gifts. Save on the year's hottest DVDs, CDs, video games, and more. And be sure to pick up a Circuit City gift card, too. Plus, get this 7-inch widescreen portable DVD player for just $199.99. And save $30 on this Sony 3.2 megapixel digital camera, only $269.99 after rebate. Save on all your last-minute gifts today at Circuit City. We're with you.
Meeting's at 8. We got 5 minutes to get there. Go around this guy. He's not even moving.
With the class-leading 250 horsepower V6 engine, the Saturn Vue can get you to the meeting on time. Unless you turn on the 6-speaker stereo. Get a new 2004 Saturn Vue with 0% APR financing for 5 years. See your retailer for details.
Tomorrow, if you think you get the holiday blues, wait till you hear what may be happening to your family pet, how they may deal with the added stress on World News Tonight with Peter Jennings.
The season's best. Experience the magic at your Cadillac dealer today. Breakthrough.
Comcast Digital Cable gives you TV your way. Get a wide variety of special interest, music, and premium channels. TV Guide Interactive to find what you want faster. And watch anywhere in the house with no expensive equipment to buy. And Comcast has the latest technology, like our HD TV receiver for just $5 more per month. Save 10% on our special digital gold package with HBO and Cinemax. Price guaranteed throughout 2004, plus free installation. Call 1-888-YOUR-TV1 now.
When the Homeland Security Department raised the threat level to orange, security instantly became tighter at U.S. airports, ports, and other facilities. But outside the country, it's an altogether different story. as ABC's Richard Gisbert reports from London.
The outward calm at Paris's Orly Airport tonight belies what is occurring behind the scenes. Most passengers don't know what French security officials have been told, that U.S. intelligence fears an attack on America, possibly using aircraft hijacked in foreign countries, and that one of the countries on the short list is France. If the intelligence is accurate, then the sniffer dogs and security guards in Paris are playing a vital part in America's homeland security.
The thing is, all you can do is trust that the rest of the world has been told that this threat exists and that anything taking off in the direction of America will get unusually careful attention. But all you can do is trust.
London Heathrow is another airport providing the U.S. with a first line of defense against a September 11th style hijacking. The police here are, of course, primarily protecting Britons. Like the U.S., the U.K. is on its highest level of terror alert since 9/11 and has been for 3 weeks now. The alarm was sounded here in London after a string of arrests, including the capture of a British Muslim named Sajid Badat. Police have linked Badat to one of the most notorious terror incidents to take place in the skies since 9/11, an incident which happens to have occurred exactly 2 years ago today. Sajid Badat is accused of conspiring with the shoe bomber, Richard Reed. On December 22, 2001, Richard Reed managed to slip past security at Paris's Charles de Gaulle Airport and board a flight bound for Miami. Only a combination of luck and quick-thinking passengers and crew stopped him from igniting a bomb hidden in his shoe. Reed, who was a British convert to Islam, later confessed to being a follower of Osama bin Laden and an enemy of the United States. The idea that an accomplice of Reed was allegedly found recently with explosives has many here suspecting there were plans to hijack more U.S.-bound flights.
The chemicals he was using, it is alleged, are very similar to what Richard Reed had used, and this particular chemical can bypass the conventional scanning devices at airports.
Europeans say their airport security prior to 9/11 was far superior to that of the U.S., and now they are reluctant to follow new U.S. security procedures. Carriers here have not reinforced cockpit doors the way airlines in America have. They do not think stronger doors are necessarily safer. There's also a belief that after 9/11, hijackers would never make it as far as the flight deck.
I think a hijacker today, if they were lucky enough or crafty enough to sneak aboard weapons on an aircraft, I think they would be confronted with a significant resistance from the passengers, regardless of the fortification of the cockpit doors and the enhanced efforts to keep them from getting on a plane. I think there's a whole level of defense now that did not exist before September 11th.
Europe knows all about terror alerts and air travel. In February of this year, Prime Minister Tony Blair ordered troops and armored vehicles to protect Heathrow Airport. It was the government's response to what it called a specific threat from Islamists to bring down a passenger plane with a missile. And Europe is where Pan Am Flight 103 was brought down. The plane departed back in December 1988 from Frankfurt, stopped at London Heathrow, and took off for JFK in New York before getting blown out of the sky by a bomb hidden in luggage. 270 people perished over Lockerbie, Scotland, and European airport security changed forever.
Lockerbie was, for Europe, the wake-up call that 9/11 was for America. But also Europe was well familiar with terrorism, which threatened it. Europe had got used to protecting itself. And then when Lockerbie came along, it had to get used to protecting America. It took America a lot more than that to make it realize it had to protect itself internally.
And to protect itself externally. The State Department has directed U.S. embassies around the world to warn Americans abroad that the Code Orange applies to them as well. The warning said terrorists are likely to target places where Americans worship and gather, which during the holiday season is just about everywhere. This is Richard Gisbert for Nightline in London.
So how can the intelligence community judge which threats are real, and how should ordinary citizens respond? Those questions when we come back.
To receive a daily email about each evening's Nightline and a preview of special broadcasts, log on to the Nightline page at abcnews.com.
Just stop. That's not on anybody's list.
Hectic holiday shopping can wear you down, so Staples makes it simple with digital and technology gifts that are easy to buy. And right now, Staples.com orders are delivered free. Holiday gifts at Staples. That was easy.
Come back to me.
One of the most acclaimed movies of the year is now the most nominated motion picture of the year, with 8 Golden Globe nominations, including Best Picture of the Year, Cold Mountain, rated R, in theaters Christmas Day.
Hey, Bob, you get a new haircut?
No.
Hey, Bob. Hey. Did you lose weight? Nope.
What's different? He finally asked his doctor about Viagra. Find out if a free sample is right for you.
Did you just talk to the doctor?
Yep. Ask your doctor and see the difference.
Just stop. That's not on anybody's list.
Hectic holiday shopping can wear you down, so Staples makes it simple with digital and technology gifts that are easy to buy. And right now, Staples.com orders are delivered free. Holiday gifts at Staples. That was easy.
Words of wisdom from Jimmy Kimmel.
Is that a big deal, the Kobe Bryant trial?
I forgot all about it.
You should remember it every time you get that room key.
Jimmy Kimmel Live, coming up on ABC. Everybody's doing brand new dance now. Come on, baby, to the locomotion. It's easier than...
Bring home the last-minute gifts from Mervyn's.
So come on, come on.
Save 30 to 60% on gifts for everyone, which is good because Santa still has a lot more shopping to do. Mervyn's. Bring home the holidays.
Bulls, Bronx, and Cowboys rock the Rose Garden January 9th, 10th, and 11th as Coastal Farm and Ranch presents the Wrangler Pro Rodeo Classic. It's bone-jarring, teeth-gritting, smash-mouth action featuring trick ropers, whip crackers, gunslingers, and hilarious rodeo clowns. Kids, come early for the free Justin Boot pony rides. Tickets start at $10 and are available now at the Rose Quarter box office, Ticketmaster.com, or charged by phone. Rodeo, the toughest sport on dirt.
I'm joined tonight by Larry Johnson, a former CIA analyst and later a counterterrorism official at the State Department. Jessica Stern, a member of the Clinton administration's National Security Council and the author of a new book, Terror in the Name of God, Why Religious Militants Kill. And Brian Jenkins, a senior advisor to the president of the RAND Corporation, a leading think tank specializing in terrorism research. Larry, this is now the 5th time that the administration has raised the code from yellow to orange. Is there some danger that the government is going to run into threat fatigue on the part of ordinary Americans?
Absolutely. I call this thing the terrorism mood ring. I was there in the aftermath of Pan Am 103, and one of the things we grappled with was the perception that the government had knowledge that we did not share with the other traveling public, the civilians, if you will, and therefore the government had an obligation to tell people. We set up a standard that was called, if you have credible information and it's specific and you cannot counter it, then you'd warn people. But if you have that kind of information, if it is specific, if it is credible, you actually can counter it. So you wound up with a situation where normally you didn't have to warn. But where we've gone is we're now, because we're concerned that we cannot predict the future, it's a win-win situation for the politicians because they warn us. If nothing happens, the warning served as a deterrent. And if something does happen, they say, see, we told you so.
Brian, should we take some comfort from the fact that since this code system has been instituted, it's been a little over a year now, there has not been an attack on U.S. soil?
Well, I don't know that we can take much comfort from that, because we're dealing with a foe that is very, very patient and opportunistic. And when they have capabilities in place, they will attempt to carry out an attack. But these warnings are not really communications to the average American citizen. Given the heightened concern and the heightened threat that we're facing with now, these alerts are really meant to signal all of the agencies of the federal government, the state governments, the more than 18,000 police jurisdictions we have in this country, plus those in the private sector who have security responsibilities, to take it up a notch. In our society, it's extremely difficult to do that without the media finding out, and the minute the media find out, they will begin to bore in and ask questions, what's behind this?
Brian, let me interrupt you on that point.
Just
a minute, let me interject here. If these messages are really aimed, as you suggest, at local government and not the American public, then why make such a big deal? I mean, you had Tom Ridge there with the president today. He was on all the morning shows. He was out very visibly yesterday. If ordinary Americans aren't the target of this information, why is the administration making this such a huge announcement?
Right.
Again, as I say, I think it's difficult to communicate with that many people without the thing going public. Once the thing is in the public domain, then they might as well get some mileage by trying to reassure the public that they're on top of the situation, that it's being taken seriously, that they're doing all that they can to take the appropriate measures. Now, if there's some political capital in that, then they do that.
Go ahead, Jessica.
I don't think this is reassuring to the public, as I almost always agree with Brian, but on this one point, I don't think that the American public is feeling really reassured at the moment.
There's another problem with this, Chris, because the administration's made a lot about this as a response to chatter without explaining whether they're getting increased reports from liaison services or if they're actually monitoring conversations. If it's the latter, they know where those people are, but how do we know if it's increased chatter that that's not done by Al-Qaeda, by the Islamic extremists, to see what our reaction is in terms of running a decoy? And I think the issue here, it goes back to what Jessica pointed out. If you can't tell people specifically what to do, and even if this is a warning to law enforcement, what are we telling law enforcement to do other than be vigilant? And so I don't like these gradations of security. I think instead of red, green, and purple, we ought to have a black and white approach to security, that we do it and we do it thoroughly.
The other specific that we've heard in the last couple of days, Larry, is this idea that Al-Qaeda still wants to look at airliners as potential bombs and perhaps hijack them from foreign, specifically European airports.
Al-Qaeda has unfinished business, if you will, from the Bojinka plot, the plot that was uncovered in January of 1995, where they were going to build bombs on board aircraft and then detonate those after the people who built the bomb got off. But my concern here, Chris, is that I think the Bush administration is burying its lead. Particularly in the United States, there's been an outstanding job done on security. We're safer today than we were prior to 9/11, and yet this approach tends to make people believe that we're worse off. And the FBI is not sitting around like the Maytag repairman trying to figure out what they're going to do. They're out working cases aggressively.
But, Jessica, isn't the administration right to point out that security in foreign airports, for example, is lax by American standards?
Yes, there's no question about that. And the truth is that Al-Qaeda and franchises and groups that are sympathetic to Al-Qaeda's goals certainly could carry out any number of attacks that would have the impact psychologically of September 11th. It doesn't have to be as sophisticated an attack as we saw on September 11th. So, yes, the administration is right to point that out, but this is a very long-term threat that it's not having an orange alert today and a yellow level tomorrow. We're going to be dealing with this for a very long time because, unfortunately, it's very easy to carry out this kind of psychological warfare.
If there's one particular vulnerability, Brian, that Americans might want to be worried about right now, what is it?
I don't think that we can. You know, I've with more than 30 years of experience, I've learned the difference between analysis and prophecy. and learn that I'm not qualified in the field of prophecy.
All right, so be an analyst then, and tell us, based on your analysis, what area we might want to be concerned about.
Again, these are folks who are patient, they are opportunists, and I certainly agree with Jessica here. This thing is going to go on for years and years. Unfortunately, the vulnerabilities in our society are virtually infinite. If somebody wants to do mischief, they will have opportunities to do so. We will thwart many of the attacks, but we can't realistically expect that we will thwart all of them. The real battle here is a psychological one. It is whether we have the determination to remain courageous, committed to our values, and to go on with our lives, despite the fact that we're dealing with a foe that is determined to impose their concept of perpetual war on us.
Larry, do you think that as a result of that and as a result of all these warnings that American attitudes have somehow fundamentally changed, that we're more resigned to the possibility of a terrorist attack?
Yeah, I think we're on the edge of people becoming complacent and stopping, and they will cease putting any confidence in elevating these alert levels. I think it's very important that the government maintain its credibility. I think that's really the greatest threat we face, is that by repeated warnings, at some point, people are just going to become immune to them and not pay attention. And there may come a time and place where we need people to pay attention.
Jessica Stern, just a few seconds left. Final thought.
I think that we just have to learn, as Larry said, to live with an elevated level of risk. And what that means is that really people should go about and have a good time over the holiday season. This is a risk that needs to be taken seriously by government officials, not by ordinary Americans.
Jessica Stern, Larry Johnson, Brian Jenkins, thank you very much.
Thank you.
And I'll be back in a moment with a closing thought.
The Nightline Closing Thought, brought to you by MasterCard. Log on with your comments to abcnews.com.
Gotta be me. Whether I'm right, whether I'm wrong, whether I find a place in this world or never belong. I've got to be me. I've got to be me. What else can I be but what I am? I've got to be me.
There are some things money can't buy. For everything else, there's MasterCard. Except that everywhere dogs are.
Hurry into Circuit City today for big savings on all your last-minute gifts. Save on the year's hottest DVDs, CDs, video games, and more. And be sure to pick up a Circuit City gift card, too. Plus, get this 7-inch widescreen portable DVD player for just $199.99. And save $30 on this Sony 3.2 megapixel digital camera. Only $269.99 after rebate. Save on all your last-minute gifts today at Circuit City. We're with you.
On the day after Christmas, 12/26, there are tons of hot values just waiting at Wix. No interest, no payments, just 10% down. No interest adds up. It's the best deal around. Your furniture dreams will soon come alive. First payment's not due till June 2005. Yes, Wix pays your interest, not 1 cent a cruise. Like a gift from Wix Furniture just for you. The date that it starts is 12/26, so make your plans now, then hurry to Wix.
Once he came out of the store, he was taken down to the ground.
The Clackamas County Sheriff's deputy is in critical condition tonight. Damon Coates was shot on Southeast.
I understand there's a lot of people hurt in the state of Oregon.
Mr. Peter Jennings.
I didn't kill Ashley. I didn't kill Miranda.
A very serious fire at this point. A wildfire burning east of Cascade Locks.
I'd like to apologize that I will support the Constitution.
11 people presumed dead from this terrible accident.
The war with Iraq hits home in the Northwest.
Brandon is an American war hero.
The first dog died from a lethal dose of poison.
It's difficult to know just what to make of the way Tom Ridge and other government officials are playing this latest warning. In one breath, they're telling us this is the most significant potential terrorist threat since 9/11. The very next moment, we're told to go about our holiday traveling and shopping as usual. And oh, by the way, Al-Qaeda wants to hijack planes overseas and convert them into airborne missiles here. Surely some of the government's apparent hedging can be explained by that ancient survival instinct in any bureaucracy to cover its posterior. But it's also the nature of the beast, as other societies know better than ours, that the only way to live with terrorism is to be as aware as possible of the threat and then to carry on in spite of it. Finally, it's been another day of random violence for the soldiers serving in the line of duty in Iraq. 2 soldiers from the Army's 1st Armored Division were killed by a roadside bomb in Baghdad this morning. An Iraqi translator was also killed, and 2 U.S. soldiers were wounded. And that's our report for tonight. I'm Chris Bury in Washington. For all of us here at ABC News, good night.
This has been a presentation of ABC News. More Americans get their news from ABC News than from any other source.
Tuesday, 10/9 Central.
Why don't I do what I do, and you do what you do? Never I want to see someone dead as I want to see this guy dead.
2 families.
You've forgotten what your job is?
My job is to put away the bad guys.
The mob and the FBI.
I could have died bringing this to you.
Fighting on opposite sides.
Drop it or die.
Of the same line. A new Line of Fire, ABC Tuesday, 10/9 Central.
Comcast Digital Cable gives you TV your way. Get a wide variety of special interest, music, and premium channels. TV Guide Interactive to find what you want faster. And watch anywhere in the house with no expensive equipment to buy. And Comcast has the latest technology, like our HD TV receiver for just $5 more per month. Save 10% on our special Digital Gold package with HBO and Cinemax. Price guaranteed throughout 2004, plus free installation. Call 1-888-YOUR-TV1 now.
K2 wishes you and your family
happy holidays.
Hi, I'd like to wish a happy holidays and a happy new year to my friends.